centerpiece programs. 1. We must fight graft and corruption. 2. We shall build low-cost mass housing. 3. Promote export-oriented industries. And 4. Develop the tourism industry. As a special salute to our special constituency, who are the youth, PRP will implement immediately a system of free elementary and high school education and a system of student loans, scholarships, and subsidies to poor but deserving students. And we shall reform the academic curricula in order to assure our young graduates of skills that are demanded by the job market. In presenting our 4 planks of our platform and our program of government as detailed in our party primer, we are engaged not only in a campaign but also in a crusade. We seek to energize the national character. We seek a mighty turnaround in the culture of corruption. Thus, this first convention of the People's Reform Party is momentous. For, to paraphrase the words of the poet, the Philippines, with all its fears, with all its hopes of coming years, is hanging breathless at thy fate. We know that victory will not be easy, for the enemy is rich and powerful. Already, there are signs that the traditional politicians or the trapos will try to buy the presidency, will use their money to buy votes, to terrorize, and indulge in other forms of election fraud, including character assassination. The opponents are boasting that in a battle, on the one hand between popularity and on the other hand with machinery, graft and corruption will win again. In the past 2 years, in over 24 major nationwide presidential surveys, in Luzon, in the Visayas, in Mindanao, in Metro Manila, the Filipino people were asked, whom do you want to become the next president of the Philippines? And invariably, consistently, the people have replied with one name, the name of the President of the People's Reform Party. But the trapos do not get the message. They mock and they ridicule me and those who voted for me in the presidential surveys. Sabi nila, ang lakas naman ng loob ni Miriam tumakbo, wala naman siyang pera, wala naman siyang makinaryang pandaraya. Ganun pa man, sa mga presidential surveys, ang nakukuha nating grado ay mga 56%. Samantalang ang mga nagsasabing yan, ang nakukuha nilang grado ay 2% o 4%. Yan ang mga gagong talagang walang konsyensya. Sabi nila, ano sa amin kung number 1 sa presidential survey si Miriam? Ano sa amin kung ano ang gusto ng mga kabataan o ng mga mahihirap? Pinagmamalaki nila na marami daw silang pera at ang dunong nila sa pandaraya. Kasi ang tingin nila sa bawat mamayang Pilipino ay mukhang pera, kamukha nila. At sabi nila, ano kung Doctor of Laws si Miriam? Dahil pinagmamalaki nila, may doctorate sila sa pandaraya. The popularity surveys indicate the will of the majority. In a democracy, it is a self-evident proposition that we must abide by the rule of the majority. Through the presidential surveys, the people have spoken. By my acceptance of your nomination this afternoon, I hear and obey the voice of the people, for the voice of the people is the voice of God. I warn the politicians in the strongest terms. Do not threaten me with your projected bribery, cheating, or even black propaganda. I shall run for president, or I shall die in the attempt. prevail or I shall perish. And if the Trapos cheat me in the elections, I will never concede. For we know that because there are many presidential candidates, the next president will be elected not by majority vote, but only by a plurality vote. Hence, it is crucial that even if elected by a plurality vote, the next president must enjoy true public support as evidenced by the surveys. Otherwise, a plurality president will only invite further political stability. Kung itong halalang ito ay magtatagumpay na naman ang katiwalian, ano ang maaasahan ng sambayanan? Kung iboto at manalo ang kandidato dahilan lamang sa nagbigay siya ng pera, kauna-unahang araw niya sa panunungkulan, ang unang gagawin niya ay magnanakaw siya uli ng limpak-limpak na pera ng sambayanan. If we vote for a presidential candidate because he has given us money, or he has promised us an appointment or a promotion in public office, or some lucrative public contract, we would have helped to perpetrate a vicious cycle of graft and corruption in Philippine society. Wala nga akong may tumbas sa pera ng aking mga kalaban. Dahil maski ganitong hamak lamang akong tao, may pagmalaki ko, hindi kamukha ng mga kalaban ko. Akong tao, hindi nagnakaw ng pera ng gobyerno. The charge against me is poverty, and I plead guilty to that offense. Pero hindi bale na. Maski ganyang wala akong pera, masasabi ko sa aking mga kababayan, hindi ko sinanla ang kaluluwa ko at kailanman hindi ko isasanla ang bansa ko. In the epic journey of our civilization, through the glorious metamorphosis of our faith, we have learned that God exists and He is good. Thus, if God exists and He is good, then in His own good time, God will ensure that good will triumph over evil and good government will triumph over corruption. The skeptics say that to fight graft and corruption in the Philippines is mission impossible. And the cynics say, Miriam will win in the voting, but she might lose in the counting. I defy my enemies. Hindi ako takot at lalabanan ko itong mga gagong ito. To reform the culture of corruption is our mission and our crusade. Already, we see proof of the warning in the scriptures that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Our opponents are divided and they cannot stand, while the People's Reform Party continues to gain strength from the sense of shared destiny.